Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen, and this is a place where we hang out and make interesting nails together. I also like to incorporate my interest in horror films, so today I'm going to talk about a movie that I happened to watch while I was making these called Holiday Hell. If that sounds fun to you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing for more. I wanted to first tell you about these diamond reflective gels that I purchased from Amazon. It was about 35 Canadian dollars plus tax, and it equals out to about $3 a bottle. It was a pretty good deal for what I needed. All of the colors were really nice and worked pretty well except for color number 1. The quality is medium. It's not bad, it's not great. If I could have afforded to buy all of these colors from Tickle Pink, I would have. And I do use a lot of Tickled Pink products. I'm an ambassador with them. All of my info will be linked down below. If you're shopping in Canada, you can save a little bit of money using my code. Similar to the movie we're about to talk about, this pinky nail was off to a rough start. I was going to use the Diamond Gel number 1, and it just goes on really patchy, and I just couldn't get the effect I wanted, so what you're going to see me do is actually use some dip powder that I had that was white and sparkly, and I used a combination of dip powder and base coat to build up the nail to a color I liked better, but it still wasn't. I wanted it to be white and sparkly, and instead it's like gray and sparkly, so you can see there, it's like kind of patchy. None of the other colors gave me that problem, but this one I could not get it to look even at all. And just before I start talking about the movie, I want to just say that it does contain mature subject matter. I am going to mention things that, might not be suitable for children, so please don't watch my videos around kids. I curse a lot and stuff, and I want to be able to freely talk about some of these movies, so just a heads up because I don't want to offend or upset anybody. So the day I started making these nails, I was searching on TUBI for some sort of holiday horror movie. And if you're not familiar, TUBI is a free streaming app. I definitely highly recommend it. I'm not sure if the movie we're talking about today will be available in your country because it does differ country to country, but hopefully it's available. TUBI is really great for having a lot of really low budget movies and horror movies that I don't have on my other apps like Shudder or Netflix. And I'm not opposed to watching really low budget movies like bad acting. I can handle it. Poor set design and things like that. I can overlook it if the story is good. So I'm basically trying to say that I have low standards for the horror movies I watch. Back to the nails for just a second because doing that dip powder thing made the nails super strong. Like this pinky was the strongest nail out of everything, and I was like, is this a hack? Did I figure something out? I'm sure it's been done before, but this was the first time that I had ever done something like that, so I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, back to this movie. So I put on Holiday Hell with pretty low expectations. And at first I was like, oh no, it's an anthology movie. I generally really don't like anthologies. And when I say that, it's just a collection of short stories contained within usually one larger theme or story. So this movie was actually it had 4 different stories contained within it. And just in general, for me overall, I don't really enjoy anthology movies. I can't even think of one that I like that I can tell you. So this movie did not have that stacked in its favor for me. Okay, sorry, I'm flip-flopping back to the nails, but while I was making them, I was like, these aren't that long, and I pulled out my longest, like my 5XL coffins, and then I was like, oh, never mind. These are the longest nails I've ever made, so anyway, moving on. So Holiday Hell is a movie from 2019, and It starts with a woman. It appears to be winter and Christmas and all that. And this like young, really beautiful woman enters a curiosity shop, and it's December 23rd. It's Christmas Eve Eve. And she's looking for a Christmas gift for her sister who has unusual tastes. And it's within this opening scene of the movie that any hesitation I had about watching it is thrown out the window. So, first, one of the first things I see in this curiosity shop is this freaking raccoon, which I mentioned it before, but I love raccoons. It's just a thing, just accept it. And I was so excited to see that scary, feral looking taxidermy raccoon. Like right away, too. I was like, yes. And secondly, when the shop owner is introduced to us, I realize that it's Jeffrey Combs. Now, I don't expect many of you to know who Jeffrey Combs is, but just for some background, he is considered, he's widely respected in the horror community, I should say. And he's probably most famous for his role in the movie Reanimator, also the movie From Beyond, The Frighteners. Personally, I'm more of a Castle Freak fan myself, and I also really like this movie he did called Would You Rather, which is also a bit more recent. So yeah, within the first 5 minutes, there was a raccoon and Jeffrey Combs, and I was like, done deal, I'm definitely going to watch this today. And at the time, it was not, it didn't inspire me for the nails. The nails weren't, Anyway, the movie and the nails were not related, but I'll explain to you a little bit later why I think that they actually kind of do go together in a strange way. So we've got this young woman approaching the shopkeeper, and it's late at night on Christmas Eve Eve, like I mentioned, and he hesitantly agrees to help her find a present for her sister, even though it's getting late and everything. He's like, yeah, I'll stay and I'll help you take a look around. Let me know what objects, intrigue you. And the gimmick is that every item in this curiosity shop has some sort of story behind it. So, yeah, so basically she's going to go through, she's going to pick out items of interest, and then he's going to relay the stories behind those objects, which give us our short stories for the movie. And side note, I would hope that my sister would know to buy me the scary raccoon with a mysterious past, but I digress. So the first item that she picks is this mask that looks like a doll face that's hanging on the wall. And the story that the shopkeeper tells her about where the mask came from, it's actually set on Valentine's Day, but it really wasn't obvious. I had to go back and watch parts of it to see like if it was Christmas related or what, because technically the description of this movie says that it's 4 short stories all told on different holidays, but it's actually all like winter holidays like Valentine's Day, Hanukkah, Christmas, and the winter solstice. But yeah, the first story is definitely the worst or the weakest out of all of them, and I don't want to talk about all of them in detail either because, I don't want to spoil it just in case you want to watch this random low budget movie. Anyway, so the second item that she chooses is a little like doll. It kind of looks like a puppet, but I think it's just a doll, and it's a rabbi. It's like a mini rabbi that was made by a rabbi. And surprise, surprise, the haunted rabbi doll kills people on Hanukkah. The next item chosen is a blood-soaked Santa suit, which I seriously question why nobody would dry clean that thing before putting it on the shelf. Like, I know you want it to look like it's all bloody and stuff, but trust me, there would still be some blood stains on it. Like, no shopkeeper in his right mind would have like literal dry blood Santa suit hung. Anyway, it took me out of the movie. Like, of all things to be picky about, that's the one thing that I'm like, nope, that's weird. Anyway, this next story that revolves around the blood-soaked suit is actually the best story in the anthology series, and it revolves around a man named Chris, whose life is really just stacked against him. His wife is portrayed as a total bitch who will not sleep with him, And at work, he's been passed over for promotion by, a younger, handsomer, less experienced coworker that just has that it factor that he doesn't have. And Chris is really portrayed as this very like losery type character. He's very, very passive. People walk all over him. And yeah, that's kind of his whole deal. It's also important to note that he works at a pharmaceutical company, and it seems pretty like common there for the men to, you know, recreationally take some of the drugs that they mass produce. So I find that part really funny, actually. So his boss gives him a handful or a bottle of these experimental drugs, and then in the same scene is asking him to be the Santa at the company Christmas party like he was the year before, but mentions that he probably shouldn't make a scene or an incident like last year's party. And we as the viewers never find out what happened at last year's Christmas party. We learned that like that's the reason why he doesn't drink anymore, and he's been sober since last year's Christmas party. So when sober Santa Chris is chilling at the holiday party, not having any fun, watching his wife flirt with Tom, the one who got the promotion, he's annoyed. And then oh poof, they disappeared. Where'd they go? So he goes looking for his wife, and then he catches that guy Tom basically dry fucking his wife. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but if you like see the movie, you'll know. Um, and then Chris is basically like traumatized from this, and he pretty immediately goes to like the nearest bar and just starts kicking back drinks, shooting whiskey, I believe. And then he like crunches a handful of those pills that his boss had given him earlier. So, in usual drunk man fashion, Chris gets super unruly, trying to pick fights, yelling, peeing everywhere, gets kicked out of the bar. And then, whatever those drugs he took, they're doing something else to him too, because all of a sudden he's having all these murderous thoughts about all the people who have wronged him. And even though this is the more violent part of the story, it's actually the funniest too, because, he's getting his revenge, but he's also like making these hilarious Christmas, like killing puns. And I don't know, it had me laughing. I thought it was great. And that short story definitely like kind of made the whole movie for me. Like if I rewatch it, it'll be just for that one, I think. So yeah, that's why I focused more on that story, because it's just more interesting, it's more fun, and it's the one that I would recommend out of all four. So to wrap things up about the film, the last story is centered around a ring previously owned by a powerful witch. I'm not going to talk about that story because it also ties into the overarching story, which gets kind of wrapped up or tied together in the last segment. So yeah, that's it for that movie. Overall, I thought it was unexpectedly good for a low budget anthology holiday horror. I don't think it's for everyone. I definitely have weird taste in movies, but I liked it, and I would recommend it if you think that you're like me and are okay with watching sometimes bad movies for the fun of it. I just want to quickly mention that regarding the nails, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, what I'm using, why I'm doing something, please let me know in the comments section. One, I would love to hear from you, and two, I love answering questions, so please let me know. I'm going to be moving into like some top coating and also decorating the nails. And I'm sure you've noticed, but every nail is different. And that brings me into the first reason why I thought perhaps it would be appropriate to do a Nails in a Movie episode about this. So the first reason why I think Holiday Hell matches these nails I made is because it's an anthology, and in a sense, these nails are an anthology. Or if I had to describe them as a movie, that's what I would do. I struggle with sometimes making a cohesive set because I have a lot of ideas of things I want to try. So that's kind of what I did. This is kind of like a sampler set for me. I wanted it to look like Christmas exploded. It threw up. It's all over my nails. And I know that like not everyone will like it, but I just kind of had to make what I was feeling. And yeah, that's why every nail is different. And I was kind of just hoping that they would all look okay together. Which also kind of leads me into the second reason why I thought the movie matched these nails. And that's because I think to some people, these nails would be a holiday hell. Like, for sure, some people are going to hate these. They're going to think they're ugly. They're going to be like, why do you even make this? I mean, I don't think anyone's going to say that to me, but like, people really hate long nails. And I mean, I don't get it, but I'm very accepting of lots of things. But yeah, I think I think that for somebody somewhere out there, this is their version of hell. So that was my other thought. But while I was preparing for this, I was really thinking about what my favorite Christmas movie is because it's changed a lot over the years since I was a kid, right? Like, I'm not going to put on Home Alone anymore because that just doesn't interest me and I've seen it 100 times growing up. So I really am kind of like looking for like new holiday things that I can like try out, which is why sometimes I'll watch these weird low budget Christmas movies, but not like the drama, like heartwarming ones, only the horror ones, because I'm like that. And I was thinking that I would love to know what my viewers' favorite holiday movie is. So, after some thought, I think that my favorite holiday movie that isn't super offensive to anyone would be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's one that I watched as a kid, but I can still watch it today as an adult. And I do watch it, if not every year, probably like every other year. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation would probably be one of my top Christmas movies of all time. And please let me know your top Christmas movie of all time. Maybe it's carried you through from childhood to adulthood. Yeah, I would love to know and love to hear from you. So leave your thoughts. The stuff is gypsum, and I got it a year ago, and it's for making like texture. But I think mine has gone bad because it's not like thick and textury anymore. It's like if there was just sand mixed into white paint. But I was able to get a little bit of texture to come out of it, but not the way that it used to look. So I still think it helped. I still like the effect, but yeah. So I just wanted to quickly show a test nail that I had done with some of my 5XL coffins. Just like a similar vibe, but I actually like what I did with this one with like the wind swirl and like all the layers of stuff. I put like a layer of base coat down and now I'm adding all these little stars and stuff. So, yep, super cute. I wanted it to feel like winter wind. I'm going to pop out for a couple minutes and then I'll be back for the reveal. Okay, let's wrap things up. First, I'm just going to show you the nails that I have on my other hand. I'm filming this a couple days later and yeah, woodland critter themed. But yeah, I'm going to go through the nails and let me know down below which one is your favorite. So number 1 is going to be the thumb. The thumb is my least favorite, by the way. Number 2 would be this one. I keep feeling like sweater vibes from it, but I'm not really sure. Number 3, the middle finger. This one is so beautiful. Like, do you not feel the cold breeze when you look at it? Like, do you feel chilled? Do you need a blanket? Like, that's how cold and icy that nail is. And I really love this one too, with the trees and the Santa and the tie-dye background. Number 4 for this one. And number 5 for the pinky, which I think might be my favorite, probably between this one and the blue one. But yeah, I would love to know your favorite down below. Okay, I'm creeping in with the final set. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below on the finished set. And let me know if you are going to check out that movie that I talked about. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. You're the best. I love you. I appreciate you. Give me a follow on Instagram as well while you're at it, and I'll see you all in the next one.